Stock market investors, welcome back to the channel. My name is Jason. I've been on a little bit of a hiatus because of my other channel, the J All Day Sports channel, covers the NFL and it's opening week of the NFL, so I've been extremely busy with that channel over the past few weeks. But today I got some really exciting news I want to talk to you guys about. Palantir has officially joined the S&P 500. We've been waiting for this for multiple quarters, right? It's finally here, so that means institutional investors can really start to pile in to Palantir stock. So where do we go from here, right? The stock was around 30 bucks. It jumped to over $32 after hours on Friday. Do we hit 45? Do we hit 60? Do we hit $100 per share? Stick around. I'll give you my thoughts on where Palantir stock goes from here. All right, stock market investors, if you take a look at the screen here, you can see the monster jump after hours. It was in the upper $29 per share, and then boom, look at that absolute dominant increase. We'll probably see another run up continue next week. The market cap's going to be pushing around $70 billion. The PE ratio is still pretty thick. It's quite the thick boy there, man. So I don't know where we go from here, but the announcement's pretty cool. Palantir and Dell finally joined the S&P 500. They bumped out American Airlines. I hate airline stocks. They're absolute trash. And Etsy. I'm not a big fan of Etsy as a company, man. I do have a little small business where I sell some stuff on Etsy, and the fees are outrageous. And you got to pay every time you list an item. I do not like that business model. It is not very seller friendly. So seeing them get booted out of the S&P 500, I'm not sad about it. But I am excited to see Palantir in the S&P 500. It says Palantir stock jumped 7.9% to $32.71 Friday night, getting close to that 3-year high of $33.13 set back on August 22nd. Palantir stock rose 0.6% to $30.33 on Friday, retaking the 21-day line after finding support near the 10-week line on Wednesday, right? So if you look at the price action, guys, it looks like Palantir is going to hold steady in that $30 range, right? Pretty exciting stuff for Palantir stock. I mean, let's just take a look on Robinhood. This is what the Robinhood buyers have been doing. Selling. And then all of a sudden they started adding a little bit, right? Hedge funds, on the other hand, pretty much the same kind of trend. Some buying, some selling. Just a little bit more buying than selling. And insiders have been dumping. Man, whoever dumped these shares here, that's a 2168. Yikes. Not the best life choice there, guys. Not the best life choice. But you can see consistently improving their earnings per share since Q4 of 2022, guys. Boom, 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 boom. Just increasing, not huge jumps, but steady progress. Estimated for next earnings is 9 cents per share. They're coming in 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cents per share every single quarter, man. It's quite impressive what Palantir has been able to accomplish. I currently own 517 shares of Palantir. Not a ton. I had some covered calls called away in the mid-20s from selling them earlier last year. But I was telling you guys to buy Palantir at $7 a share, and it's absolutely crushing it. These profit margins are great, 16.32%. Operating margins, the trailing 12 months at 15.53%. Seriously good numbers out of Palantir. $2.48 billion in revenue. Woo! Revenue growth year over year coming in at 27%. For a company with this large of a market cap, they are astronomically good numbers. Very, very, very good. Total cash, $4 billion. They only have $250 million in debt, which is virtually nothing compared to carrying $4 billion in cash on their balance sheet. Operating cash flow, $708 million. The levered free cash flow, over $500 million. So they could pay off this debt whenever the heck they want. Very small time debt. 42% of Palantir shares are held by institutions. 5% are held by insiders, right? If we take a look at short percentage of the float coming in at 3%, shares short of shares outstanding 2%. I mean, people are scared of Palantir stock. That's great for Palantir stockholders. I'm also a SoFi holder, and if you look at the short interest in that company, they're pretty high. But if you look at Palantir a year or 2 years ago, the short interest was way over 10%. So could that potentially happen to SoFi stock? I think we could potentially get there, guys. So we are getting closer and closer to that 52-week and 3-year high, which that article mentioned, right? So we got to be a little bit careful with price action. But I do think over time, we're going to see the stock price go to 45. We're going to go to 60. And in my 5-year price target, 4 to 5 years, it's going to be over $100 per share. Look at the state of the world right now, man. Palantir's products are going to be used, unfortunately, on the front lines of all these wars in Eastern Europe with Russia and in the Middle East, right? So, unfortunately, the world is in a very chaotic state right now. But fortunately for Palantir and their shareholders, the business is going to be booming. And we don't know what's going to happen with China and the Taiwan situation. It's very precarious times for the world right now, right? So, but back to the income statement. You can see on the top line, revenue 530, 558, 608, 634, 678. That's in millions of dollars. So top line, quarterly revenue increasing quarter after quarter after quarter. This business model just continues to grow. They are the best in their field, in my opinion. If you look at the net income, it's growing astronomically. 28 million back in 2023. In 1 year, we went from 28 to 134 million. Every quarter, we went from 28 to 71 to 93 to 105 to $134 million per quarter in net income, guys. This is what I want to see for the companies that I invest in their financial statements, guys. And if we go down to revenue, year-over-year change up 27%. Operating expenses up 6%. That's okay. Anything under 10% is, fair to me. We really want to see it under 5%, closer to the inflation rate, which is they want it between 2 and 3%, right? Net income up 376% year over year. The net profit margins up 275% year over year. Earnings per share up 80% year over year. These numbers that Palantir is putting together are quite remarkable. As an investor in Palantir, I am very happy. I love Karp. He's one of my favorite CEOs. And EBITDA up 500%. I mean, these numbers just make me super happy, man. We go take a look at the balance sheet, guys. Again, total assets just continuing to increase. 1 year, we went from $3.9 billion to over $5 billion in total assets, right? The liabilities pretty much staying steady right around that $1 billion range. So we're not seeing huge jumps in liabilities, which is great for any business model, right? Cash and short-term investments up 28%. Total assets up 30%. Total liabilities up 11%. I'm not super concerned about that. If it gets to that 15 and 20% range, I'll start to be concerned. But I just love what Palantir is doing financially, right? Let's take a look at the cash flow. Net income up 370%. Cash from operations up about 60%. Cash from investing up around 60%. Cash from financing down 100%. Net change in cash up almost 100%. Free cash flow down just, not great numbers at 18%. We have to keep an eye on why this free cash flow is down year over year. But nothing really concerning as I look through all these financials. This is just broad stroke financials, guys. We're not doing a deep dive here. Just kind of getting a broad overview of how this business model is executing, right? Year to date, the stock is up 82%, guys. So we got to be careful when we're investing in a stock up 82%. So what am I doing with my shares? I'm holding. I think I have a covered call September 20th at $30. So what I'll do is I'll sell puts in that 28, 27, 25 range over the next 3, 6, 9, 12 months, right? So if I have to sell my shares at $30, I can buy them back potentially at a cheaper price. we could see Palantir, jump up and then sell off. September is notably known as one of the hardest and toughest months for the stock market, but then we can get a rally in October, November, and the Santa Claus rally usually comes in December, right? So I'm really excited what Palantir is doing. Getting in the S&P 500 is huge. They can start getting in all those big index funds like VOO. I'm really excited as a Palantir investor. I couldn't be happier. They're executing at a high level. I think this business model is best in class. So if you like more videos on Palantir and not just SoFi, let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We're fully monetized now, and that's all because of you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Peace.